Alright guys, welcome back to another session of our castle game. So today I want to actually build our first cinematic, and I kind of want to show you how I do it, and maybe this will help you guys also, on your game journey as well. So basically I have the quest set up. So I have this quest which is very simple, which is called the last hat. I still have to fix the UI here, but basically it's just that, just writing here, just in case someone see my hat. I just come up with something very stupid here, but like basically the idea is that when the player comes to this part of the map, we'll see this board, and it's just to explore him to walk around. For example, I want him to go to that mountain. So I want to kind of give him like this ability to go there, and I just want to kind of make it in a cinematic way, right? So right now what I can actually do here is that this will work. So it's like starting the quest, and I'm gonna show you how I did this. As you can see, it has that you see the marker. I just need to make it a little bit more obvious to the player, but the idea here is that we are gonna go to this place. So let's see. So he has to walk all the way over there. This is going to be on the start of the game. I think it's going to be one of the first quests. Get the hat, and then we'll equip the hat, right? And then, or it doesn't necessarily need to equip the hat. And then he goes back, and then he completes the quest, or something like this. So let's see how I can actually do that. So the way my quest work here is by actually having this quest manager. So every quest that I have, so DT quests, I created a task manager. So every manager runs at the moment you start, it will install in the game, and then we basically, if you started, if it's not started, whatever the status of the task is, I trigger a different action. So for example, here I have find a hat, so I have the name of it. Actually it's called Lost Hat of John, and then you have the name, the description of the task, which is very stupid, but I just added something here, and then the status, then there's a task selection, and in this case you have to select a task for the quest, which I also set up right here. The good thing about my tasks is that I can just reuse them, and that's quite simple. I don't have to, like, once I set up something that's quite decent, I can just reuse that and make everything looks quite cool, right? So what I'm gonna do is I am just gonna cheat a little bit. I am gonna go back to 11 labs, right? And I'm been using 11 labs for a while. It's quite good to create sounds and stuff. Let me see if I have some credit. I do have credit though. Not sure if I can actually create some voices flow template studio. Maybe I can create like some of the voices I was trying to do. Well, I don't have like voice changer music. Can I use one of my existing? I think I can. I'm not sure if I can actually download them again. Let me just actually put my headset here. I completely forgot about that. Just gonna do that. Right, so I'm gonna download this one. Yeah, I have to be on Pro. Anyway, that's fine. Let's just not use this then. So the way I like to create my cinematic here is by coming to my inventory, right? And I created all the managers. So let's just think about how I want this scene to be. I am thinking that it's gonna be something very simple. Find a hat. It's gonna be like Zelda, like where it starts the quest and then it just zoom in to the place you have to go, and then your character is free to go, right? So let's do this. So I'm gonna right click, and I'm gonna look for like a level sequence, which is a cinematic. I'm gonna call this L key, and let's start like find the hat intro, right? Or something like this. Find a hat intro. Let's open up. Perfect. So if you guys are not aware about this cinematic stuff, what we can do is that you can install everything with the sequence, and then you just press play, bind the event, and then once you finish playing, then you just return back to the character. It looks very complicated, but it's really not. So I'm gonna add a camera actor anywhere, to be honest. And I am just gonna position this camera right here. And I'm gonna drag and drop that. One thing very important is gonna right click and I'm gonna go to bind spawnable actor. All right. And it's gonna be very useful for us, because when it's spawnable, it means that only when we're playing the cinematic, we want this camera to be here. Now, if we want to add like animations or stuff, I'm not entirely sure yet what I'm gonna do, but I'm just gonna keep it this very simple, like 10-second cinematic. I think that's my good, it's a good time. So now that's gonna press play, whatever, perfect. And now let's just press play with the camera. So what I want to do is I am gonna hold Control Shift P so I can control the camera from wherever I am. So the player is gonna be something around here, right? I'm just gonna reduce this speed. So it's gonna be something around right there. Then I kind of want to turn the camera and zoom in. That's all I want to do, like what Zelda does on those cinematics when they have, right? So I'm gonna just create here the transform. Then what I'm gonna do, more or less in 4 seconds, I wanna turn the camera. So I'm gonna add another transform, you see? So it does that. And then from that to, let's say 10 or whatever, actually, more important thing, when you are here, make sure that we do this field of view. Let's just add a key. And when we're on 10 or whatever, I'm just gonna put this here. I'm gonna more or less change the field of view to give like the zoom. And that's gonna be, I would say, enough for the player to figure out that he has to go there, right? So let's see if he's janky. So it's pretty cool, right? So it turns to where he should go, and then he zooms where the player has to be, right? Something very simple, you know, then after we can add more things to it. I think I'm pretty happy with this. So I'm gonna right click, I'm gonna stop piloting the camera, I'm gonna save all this sequence, and that's it. So now, because this camera only spawns when we have to, so we don't need to worry about this anymore. I can even close this sequence. You see everything has been deleted. I'm gonna go back to my quest manager called Find a Hat. And I have here like a quest started, which is basically when I add the markers and everything that we have to. So I'm gonna create here a custom event called API start cinematic, right? Maybe later we can actually move this to the parent. I'm not entirely sure how I'm gonna do this. Now I'm gonna, I think it's called level sequence. Yeah, create a level sequence. The one we need is this one we just created. Now what we have to do is that from the return we have to play. So we want to play, I think it's called play level sequence, or play, let's just play. Yeah, I think play will be fine. Let's see if that works. There's a couple of more things we have to do here, but let's just press play here. So let's see. So we go here, we're gonna talk with the guy, and we're gonna press start. All right, nothing happened. Yes, of course, I forgot about this. We have to call this on the level start, right? But anyway, what I want to do is that this will happen, and then I wanna bind event on finish. Yes. So when you finish to play the sequence, then I want my character to be able to move again and all that stuff. So we're gonna have to do those changes here in a second. So we're gonna do here, I'm gonna just create here a custom event called API move character. Yeah, sorry, API stop cinematic. And here we're just gonna do a print, and let's see what's gonna happen. So, come on, perfect. Now we are gonna press play, and let's see, start. All right, so it is working, which is what we want. It did stop though quite soon, which is not something that I'm looking forward. Let's just have a look why. I think, to be honest, that sounds Sounds about right. I'm just gonna increase the size of the camera. Now I do believe that we can also add a fade or something. Fade track, yeah. And the way the fade track works is quite interesting, because what we do is that we set the fade to 0 and then it goes to 1, right? So what you do is that, sorry, before it was 0, so up to here 0. Then more or less there, whatever is the end, you can even move this a little bit more. And then we just do that back to 1, right? So it only fades on the part that we need. So let's see if it works. It does that, press play, and then it fades. Perfect. Just press play and try again. Let's see. I think our cinematic is gonna... Oh, why is it doing that? I think it's because... Oh yeah, it's because the sequence is open. Yeah. We only want that to happen at the end of the sequence. Because if you have the sequence open, it will try to play that for you. So it's something that we want. So let's press start. All right. So sequences, let's see. Okay, that's fine. It's just that it's finishing earlier. Let me double check if I have to change. I think it has the default size of it is like 10 seconds. Let me just double check here on our friend ChatGPT, because I completely forgot how to increase the cinematic length. Right, what is thinking that? I also am working on a new project, which is like a voxel engine. Not sure if you guys saw some of my posts lately, but I'm trying to make like a voxel kind of planet, which I think is cool. It's just that, so for example, you can kind of, it's not like necessarily like Minecraft, but it's like an engine where you're gonna be able to like dig and go into the inside the planet, as you can see here. I think that's gonna be quite cool. Yeah, I just need to figure out a couple of things. But the idea is that it's going to be like a No Man's Sky kind of vibe, but you're going to be able to fly with your ship and go above and beyond. There's a limit. And it has like simulation physics, which is quite... Can I show? No, I think I disabled that. But yeah, it's quite cool. Anyway, let's go back here to our game engine. Let's see what's coming up here. Right, so at the toolbar, playback range. Where the hell is this playback range? I always get this thing confused. Playback. Okay. Playback range. Is that a playback? No. So drag the... Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Why is it no... Huh. Let's just press play again, see what's going on. So let's see. So you press play, you go here, and you start. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. And then the track dies out. So let's see, why is that happening? Playback speed, jump frame. Just double check, start, increase, playback range. Increase the length. Let's try to increase this length here. Where is it? In assets. All right, so that's where I was. Where's the eye? So you have here. Set end time. This is exactly what I have. Huh. Why is it playing to that? Selection. Okay, let me just try to have this here. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Shift 4. So we do that. That's the end time. Maybe there's an issue how I'm playing this. Let me just have a look. How am I playing that? Cinematic. Find a hat. Where's the find a hat one? Here. All right. So play. Let's have a look. So play. Play reverse, play 2. I don't want to play 2. I just want to play the whole length of it. So that will play. We'll stop. And then we'll start. All right. So. Just have a look here. So we're gonna go back, press play, lost the hat, start. So I need to disable that UI, but that's fine. Yeah, but why is not playing everything? Let me have a look. Check if I forgot something. Where is it? That's not really what I'm trying to do here. Let's just try to increase this and playback speed, lock. Just cut track. Let's see. Longer, right. I think that's fine. Let's just press play here. See. And then it fades away. Nice. Okay. So why is that not fading away? Let's see here. Well, anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'll fix this later on. One thing I still have to do here is that when I press play, I have to disable a couple of things, I believe. So let me double check. What do I have to do? So the first thing that we have to do is we have to hide the UI and we have to make so the player can't move, right? So let's just do one thing at a time. So I think I have on the player controller, have a look, master player controller, and that's gonna be right everything. So we have controller pawn UI. Let's just have a look. So that's when we refresh possession player state interface. All right, perfect. So here we have toggle movement. We stop the movement. We're doing all this kind of a crazy UI things, right? So let me check what kind of access do I have here on the hat. So I have access to, let me check the manager one. So I have access to the BPC inventory, which is really good. So on the last hat here, when I start the cinematic, right, get BPC inventory, get inventory. I don't actually have access to that. Last trigger inventory, that's the one, perfect. So this is returning me the BPC, so get controller, perfect. Now that I have the player controller, I can actually trigger a bunch of things, which is what we want. And now I can just call that, which one is the one we're looking for, is API start character movement, stop character movement. So this is gonna toggle player I disable, I player state disable. Okay, let's just call this. I'm just gonna put this on the side because I added like those crazy names to make it easy, but it's gonna be hard to follow. So I player state disable input, right? All right, so let's try. So we need to disable the player input. Plus on the top of that, we have to also disable the UI. I'm gonna have to come up with something. Let's see what's gonna be. Yeah, nice. I can't move. This is pretty good. Now I just need to disable the UI because it's a little bit on the way, right? So to disable the UI, that will also be done using the widget, right? I think I have the inventory widget. So I'm just gonna edit this, and then I have the widget manager. Now also on the player controller here, so we're gonna add another one called I player state disable UI. Perfect. And then we're gonna duplicate that, and then I'm gonna just create another one called enable UI. This is one of the things that when I was building this game, I had no idea I would have to do such a thing. And as you start to implement the game, like, oh yeah, makes sense now. Right, right, so player controller here, nice. Now what I'm gonna do, I don't know why this is not part of the same, but I'm gonna implement this and implement that enable UI. Perfect. Now, if I'm right, all we have to do is get the inventory, get the widget, yes, and there we go. I think we can get canvas. Let me just double check what's this inventory about, because I really don't remember. I had done this like some time ago, and I don't really remember exactly where it was that. So widget, so that's the main widget, as it's called inventory canvas. Perfect. So what I can do here is just like set visibility, right? And if it's disabled, it's going to be collapsed. Otherwise, it's going to be visible. Perfect. So collapsed and visible. All right. So now player state disable UI, enable UI, perfect. So now let's go back to the cinematic, and I can just call that player state disable UI. I think that will work. Let's see. And then of course we have to do the other way around, which is just a way to enable our game here. So I'm just gonna go back. Let's press start. Nice. We do have the UI though, but that's fine. We're gonna disable that in a second. And now I can't move, but that's okay. That's more or less what we are expecting to do. Let me just double check here. My other game engine is working out. I'm using AI to help me out with some structure. So let's see what he did. He created a voxel, the player update. So he starts, okay. Pulls towards the player. Space jumps. Dark space background. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. Planet. All right. So now that we do this stuff, I'm gonna copy all that logic, go back and paste it here. And now I just need to do the reverse, which is player state enable input. And then player state enable UI. Enable UI. Perfect. Okay, so we have this here. We're gonna have that. Nice. Now let me just double check one thing on the player, because so this is enable the inventory inputs. I'm not sure why we use this quite for. UI. Okay, perfect. Now let me double check what happened. If we can actually do things on it. So press start. All right, so I can't move. Nothing is working. But now, oh, it's still not working. Let me double check if it is actually playing. I think what's happening is because on the sequence, the camera actor, why is the camera being deleted? Yeah. All right, so that's fine. So there's something to do with the camera. I think I know what it is. Is this one? I just need to increase that. That's so that if this is so simple. I think I found out what it is. Let's have a look now. So now when we press the camera, I'm just gonna go back here, press play, and start. All right, now we don't move. It's fine. We still have to hide the UI, but that's fine. And yeah, the camera is zooming out, which is perfect. So it's a very subtle way of telling the player what they have to do, and it fades out. Perfect. This is really cool. This is really cool. I think this is getting to good, decent state. Now we need to add sounds and all that stuff, but that's fine. Now one thing I want to do here is that when I'm just gonna close that for now. I don't think we add the player health here. So I need to find where is that player health stuff. And to be honest with you, I haven't been on this project for a while, so I have no idea where is this menu, but we're gonna find out what it is. So we have this stuff here. As you can see, as you guys can see, I changed the UI a little bit. I think it's looking a little bit more sharp. I've been trying to play with this beta UI lately, so I think it looks quite more interesting. Now, where's that UI, right? So I think I'm gonna search for progress bar? Progress bar. Okay. I found a progress bar. Alright. Is that the one? I think so. Now where it is? Here. So if I press, let's say, delete, where does it? Now that's the wrong one. Let's just find again. Progress bar. So we got the simple and the one with the text and the delay. That's the one we're looking for. Yeah. Now if I press delete, now I got the attribute. Okay. Okay, now it's not that hard to find. So if I delete this guy, it goes to this widget here. Perfect. This in-game widget, which is being used on the player controller. Oh, that's easy. Okay. So let's just have a look where we are using this. Where is that? Let's just have a look where we are using that. So it creates the widget. So controller widget, pawn widget. Okay, this is a very bad name. I'm just gonna rename this to be pawn health widget, which is also a bad name, but I don't know how to call this, to be honest. Okay, so that is on the player controller. It's gonna go back to that player controller. Now what we have to do is that when we disable the UI here on the graph, on the state, so when we disable the UI, I'm going to get this. I'm just going to do the same logic, to be honest. It's nothing too complicated. I'm going to edit them here and here as well. Okay. Let's see. I think that's good. I think it should be good now. Let's see if you go back, and now we press play. Should be able to press start. Everything is hidden. Perfect. I don't mind about that one. We're gonna still change the name. But as you can see now, we have a marker. We have a direction where we have to go. We can see the item there, and that's it. And now, if you are like the player, you kind of know where you have to go because you have the marker and then all that jazz. And everything should be fine. Perfect. Now that we kind of know how to do this properly, I'm going to close all this stuff because I don't need it anymore. Right? I could kind of create this as a reusable component. Not entirely sure, but for now I'm going to say when we start the cinematic. Alright. Right, so now is starting the cinematic. Let me just double check what's going on with my other engine. Oh no, I need to run it here. One of the things I hate about developing this stuff on Windows is so junky the way the Windows terminal works sometimes. So crazy. Alright, so now we have a fog, which is pretty cool. It does look like Unity though, but I am kind of very surprised how this engine is working actually. It does look like a Minecraft, but yeah. Very interesting. I just wanted to show you guys this the sun array. I don't think it's doing. Anyway, so I'm trying. My idea is that this game that I want to do here is gonna be like, imagine that you are playing on a like a No Man's Sky kind of thing, but you build your ship and then you have to go to the planets and explore. But then you can fully manage and fully change everything. So I think it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be like a crazy physics game if this works out properly. Let's see. Okay. Ah, yeah, the sun array. There you go. That's cool. Look at that. That's pretty cool. I think that I'm gonna have a problem with this game a little bit because when it comes to graphics, it's not very easy to. This engine is gonna take me some time to work out. But yeah, we'll see what's coming up. Anyway, so now we have the start cinematic. Perfect. Compile and save. Let's go back here to the top of our mountain. So I could actually also spawn something for. So when the player is around the area or something, you would see that hat here. But anyway, so now that we have the stuff added, let's go back to the cinematic. I'm going to create a new level sequence. a level sequence called LQ again. Find the hat finish. All right. Or finish, I would say completed. Completed. Finish is such a bad name. Anyway. All right. Now let's add something cool. Let's add a camera to actor. So let's just add this camera right here. Okay. Now the camera, the same thing. I'm going to drag and drop the camera here. Right click and spawnable actor. Then I'm going to hold Control Shift P to pilot the camera. And then we're going to kind of make it so it goes like, I don't know, maybe from here. I kind of looking for this cinematic feel. Not entirely sure how I'm going to do that, but like something that goes to the castle, right? So it's going to start it here. And, you know, it basically tells you where you have to go. Like, it's a very simple quest. It's just so the player can explore the world, right? So it's going to be like 10 seconds of cinematic. And even that, I think is a little bit much. But that's okay. Now, we're going to add here the spawn, which is a transform. And then we're going to basically just go very, very quickly to where the character has to arrive, which is here, right? And then we just add this. Now let's just press play and see what happened. Why is it not doing that? It's not doing that because I'm piloting, yeah, of course. Stop piloting the camera. Is it not doing that? Oh. Oh yeah, the AI has finished my... What did you change here exactly? Let's see. Can I actually go to the... Alright. Because I'm creating like a planet design. Ah, that's cool. You can actually go around the planet. Ah, that's going to be cool. This is going to be really, really cool, I think. Anyway. It's going to be a problem for a lot of time. But where is my camera? Where is the camera? Is because I see. Let me pilot the camera and edit. I don't know why. Sometimes I really hate creating cinematics in Unreal because there's this stuff. Sometimes you think you're doing the right thing and it's not. It's spawned. Of course, I was using the wrong thing, guys. This is so crazy. Anyway, so we're gonna go back here to more or less where he ends, right? And he will go to this final place. All right. Let's see if it's too janky. I think it's okay. It could be faster, but it's okay. Not too bad, right? All right. So it goes from that to here to that from that. All right. Now we're gonna add like a cut, right? A cinematic cut. This cut, usually the fade, I like to start from here, right? So I'm gonna add a fade track. Remember the fades, make sure that before the parts that you want to do, you just press, like say for example, I want to fade here from that. So you added this, the track here, fade. And now here we added 1 and press enter. And now as you can see, it goes back to black. And it gives that nice vibe for the player. So let's see, it goes, and then it finishes this. Perfect. Now I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna close this sequence. Don't need it. Go back to my game. And I'm gonna go back here to handle, right? So this is gonna be once we complete. So when we complete, we're gonna call the same logic. I wonder if I could even make it. I think I can actually. You know what? If this works out, I'm gonna make into a proper cinematic thing. But it's gonna ask us for the sequence. So when we start here, we need to pass the sequence. So we're gonna copy that, go back, and I'm gonna paste it here, and it has all the logic that we already need. And this is why I really like, you know, programming, because you can do this kind of stuff. You're very clever, like you just don't have to copy the same logic every time. And yeah. All right, so now it's gonna start the quest, which is pretty cool. This is starting the wrong quest, by the way. I am playing the wrong thing. Intro. Yes. And blah, blah, blah. Completed. Completed. Perfect. Now we should be able to have a proper quest running. Now there's a couple of things we have to add, like for example, sound effects, you know, like this kind of stuff, but it's okay. We don't have to do all that. So that started. Perfect. So it more or less tells the player where he has to go. It's a little bit slow, so probably gonna change that. But to be honest with you, I think as the quests start to improve, this is gonna get better. So now let's just go to that place. Ideally, the character will walk, so he's not gonna be able to fly. But let's see what we're gonna do here. And let's just stop playing. So he's here, whatever, and he gets to the location. And here's the hat. So he gets the hat. And now he plays the cinematic, which is really cool. It tells where you have to go. Very obvious, but anyway. And now we can go back and we complete the cinematic. Now there's one thing though I would like to do is when we finish the game, the quest, ideally I will also have to play another cinematic or something, because sometimes some games you kind of want to play like when you complete, when you collect, and it keeps playing the same one. So that's something that we need to change the logic for this, right? So what I'm gonna do here is on the quests, so DT quest, I'm gonna change the status though to be quest type, quest status. So we go pending no, this is the quest status, yeah, this one. So we have available, started, cancel, fail, completed, and I'm gonna add finished. I think that makes sense. Finished. Finished. I'm gonna save this. Okay, this is gonna be finished, and I'm gonna just reload my engine because I have that trick that otherwise, because I'm using everything as a data table, it can corrupt some of the things on my scene. Let's see if this is gonna. No, so let's see what the AI did. So fix the bug, the plane direction wrong. Okay, fine. Volumetric. Okay, that's okay. Fine. All right. Man, I'm gonna look at that after. I've been trying to like put like this game together, which is this exploration in space using voxel technology. We'll see if I can pull that off. I think it's gonna look quite cool if I manage to pull this project off. Let's see if he actually changed anything. Let's see. So, alright, so you have the sky, which is fine. So right now it's not like, it's a little bit annoying because you can't really do much. Ah, you can. Actually, I can go to space. Okay. There's like a limit though. Alright. It's quite cool though to make the whole planet voxelized, which is quite nice. I like this. Oh. Yeah. I wanted to do this in Unreal Engine as well, but I know that Unreal Engine has this voxel plugin. It's just that I found Unreal Engine very, very slow when creating voxel worlds. For some reason, I'm really not a fan of how the engine handles all that stuff. But I think it looks quite good. Let's see. One of the things I wanted to add here, let me just So you also add volumetric or voxel smoke. Spread. Spread. Right. Let's go back to our game here. Right. By the way, guys, I forgot to show you that we have now done it. We have workers on the game. So they come here and look at this lady. And she's going to start to do her thing. She's going to hammer that sword. That took me a while, though, to figure out. But you can actually talk with them. And you can actually trade items. So you can buy a sword and you can buy all sorts of things. But right now they're just like more or less, they're a little bit buggy, but you know. And also added the job so we can actually work on a forge. Like, and you get money. So for example, here we got money, right? I think it's another one. Yeah, perfect. And I can talk with him and I can buy, let's say, sword 3. Which is very good. And now, oh, don't know why that's a bug though. But anyway, now I can actually equip my sword. Look at that. I have my sword. And I can even kill them. I think it's something I haven't showed you guys, right? Let me just double check if I showed you this. So right now I can hit them. Look, they die. So he dropped the grave. Oh, I have to fix the text though. No, that's not exactly what I'm looking for. Let me just kill this lady. Come on, die. Alright, so I can pick up the gravestone, right? And then I can carry them around. So you can actually drop anywhere. And then you can kind of resurrect them. But that part's not... It's working, but I have to load up the proper things. LV. Let's just load up the main world here. Come on, come on, come on. And by the way, guys, you can actually, if you are interested by this, I'm kind of thinking about create like a tutorial, but it's basically, it's just telling the AI where and which assets open source we want to use, so it creates the engine for your game. But right now I'm just using Cloud Code to do this stuff. Yeah, I created another engine which was like to create like this space exploration, but it wasn't voxel. It was like using a different system, and I think C++ is the best option. I tried to do in Rust, doesn't like that. All right, so now I have the stuff. Perfect. Now we're gonna go to BPC inventory, right? Now in the inventory here, what do we have? So complete the quest. So when we go back to the quests, there is this thing that we complete the quest, and we have the status to finished. This is going to be very important, so we don't trigger this multiple times. Let's double check now if this is gonna be good or not. I'm just gonna get my RPG character. That's the one. Perfect. And I have, what is it? The movement speed. Fly. I just want to be able to change the fly speed to something ridiculous like 5,000. It's just because it's too slow right now. I don't know what I'm looking for. Alright, come on, let's just double check. So I'm gonna press start. Come on. I like the zoom. The zoom's quite cool actually. We can even do like another one to explore the castle. It's gonna be cool. Nice, so you can... to be honest, it doesn't look like it changed the speed. Anyway. But anyway, so let's just test the whole thing. So the character, it flies. One thing though is not very obvious is where we are spawning the hat. Because there's too many flowers, it gets a little bit tricky. But anyway, we added the hat. Now we have the animation to go back, which is cool. This straight line is a little bit buggy. Unfortunately, I'm probably going to remove that because it should actually follow the shortest path. Right now, it's just, I don't know what's it doing, but it's not doing what I want. And now, when we get back, so you get very close to it. And I think it should collect and we'll be able to complete the reward. Why is it playing though the same? That's wrong, that's because it's playing the same logic here, which I don't want to be playing completed. Let's double check why is it doing this. So I can delete this. So completed. So find the hat, and here we have the statuses. Just go back here to the parent. So we have complete, we have finished. Probably gonna have to handle that as well. I am just gonna duplicate this, handle finished, right? And then we're gonna add it here. Now, when we complete the quest, why is it playing that twice? Let me double check. Well, let's just double check on the quest description. Quest description here. So here I have a button which completed. So it completes the quest. If I go back to that, I have a quest, I think it's here. So when the complete quest. So clicks on it, it goes here, it goes there, it goes here. So it does the loop, and then it mark it as finished. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna test this without that part to see if we're not kind of hijacking or any other places playing this. When we start the quest, I'm not gonna play this animation anymore. And then the only thing I'm gonna do, BP hat, because I just need the item. I'm just gonna drag this item here, so I don't have to be like going back and forth like crazy, trying to, let's see. So I get the item, it starts, I can get, it will complete. Come on, yes. Complete the quest. I do have though to figure out this issue because it's a little bit annoying. But anyway, I can move now. Perfect. Now when I complete this quest, so it is playing that. So something else is playing that quest. Let's see if we can figure out what it is. So we know that this is handle completed quest reward. Is it here maybe? Item. No. It's not that. But let's just try again, see what's going on. So I'm gonna close everything to the right. So we trigger the completion task here. So to test, I'm just gonna go back to the completed and handle completed. I'm just gonna do a print here, and we're gonna say completed, or just like a text, to be honest, just so I don't have to keep like replaying that cinematic every time. That's a little bit annoying. So let's just go back, press start. Perfect, got a quest, got a hat, and now we can complete. Oh, damn it. Engine just, okay, completed. So there's something intercepting that. What's it doing here? What did I ask to do this time? I asked to create a volumetric fog. Okay, I'll do that later on. Anyway, so there's something triggering this multiple times. I'm not sure where it's coming from. I think is a bug. Well, let me double check how I can actually catch this little bug. So here, handle the quest completed. Handle the quest finished. This is when we finish the quest. Yeah, so you finish the quest, you give you all the reward, and that's all we want to do. Now, let me just double check if that's still gonna play here. I think I have an idea what's going on, but I think there's like a new other event that is catching this. I wish I had done a better documentation of this project. But anyway, so I go here. You know, create games is very hard. Like, as you guys probably know, like when you have one piece changes everything. All right, good thing is that it's not that fine, which is good. So it goes here. So this calls that calls this, that finds that. So if I remove that, I think I know where it is right now. Yeah, definitely know. Let's just double check. So we come here, we got this item, we start, we track. Now we go back and we go back to the track, complete it. Right, so still not doing that part, which is expected. So if I am a little bit confused. Let me just do a print here. It's gonna do zzz, compile and save. Let's see. I'm gonna add the item, start, collect the data, go back, complete. So it's playing ZZ. So it is coming through that. Okay. So it is coming through here, which is what we're looking for. So here's just setting the status of the quest. So it sets the status. And then it goes back right here. Okay. So if it's valid, then it goes back to that. So it does, goes back to here. Perfect. Goes back and remove from parent. So it's not doing anything here. So why is it doing that then? Let's just press play again. Get the item. Oh, actually, I have to drop. I don't want to get the item. So we're gonna track and we complete. Complete it. And okay, quest has been finished, so it's good. So what I can do is go back to that. So I don't need this anymore. So it should play now the right sequence when we complete. You should only play once though. Let's see what happened. This is very annoying sometimes. I had a friend that used to work with QA with games, and he said they almost destroy him playing games. It's because you have to do this every day for the same quest for every minute. It must be very tiring, to be honest. But anyway, complete. Okay, so that's completed. Okay, I think we are fine. Now, if that quest plays again, is something from here onwards that we need to worry about. And I think it's this. I have a feeling it's that thing. But let's just double check. What is it? In the meantime, what's our engine doing? So, fire simulation. Here's what I added. It's only tracks. F to ignite. Okay, let's just double check what's the game engine did here. I'm kind of trying to recreate like, well, oh my god, this is crazy. What the fuck? I mean, this is fucking cool, but what the hell? Shit, this is gonna destroy the whole fucking planet. Okay. I wasn't expecting this to happen. This is definitely like a fucking cool game, but what? How does it stop, man? Okay. This is insane. It looks cool, but how I'm gonna make it so I can make sense of this game? Jesus, my machine is like melting. Fucking hell. Okay. Let me go back. Let me go back. Wow. I like it. Let me check what it is. So, to ignite a crochet. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom out like that. And if I press F. Okay. I think it has potential. Of course, the shaders, the smoke, things are not great, but it's kind of, I like this because imagine that if you're like playing a space game, right? And you have like 5 minutes to leave the planet or something, and then all this stuff start to break through and kills you and destroys everything on his path. I think definitely has potential. And I'm very happy how he done it because, I mean, the smoke is not the best. Can we improve the smoke a bit and make more realistic? Let me just double check about the CPU. Strong intensity, probably ignite. Okay. Improve the, how's it called? The name of the Unreal Engine does. Fire glow. My gosh, completely forgot the name of that. The fire, I mean the volumetric smoke effect. I don't know. Let's see. All right, so this is coming up. Perfect. Let's go back to my character. Oh yeah, we're testing the finish. Let's see what happened. Okay, so now we have this finish part. I can come back and I can press start, right? Track, everything's great. Now I can get a hat. It is gonna play though the cinematic to finish. Let's see. Hopefully this will only play once. Nice. I do need to worry about removing that, but that's okay. And now I can press complete. Damn it. Still playing the wrong thing. Alright, I have an idea because it's triggering this quest stuff. So what we can actually do here is open up that. It handles the quest. I see. And then probably goes back. Handle the quest status. Goes back to the status. And then rerun the whole thing. I see. I see. I think I know what to do here. So what we have to do is, let's start to think about this properly. So what we do is that when we have the complete quest finished, we do trigger this logic, and I think we have to, before we run that, we just run quest complete, so give the player the reward, then we trigger this other logic here that passes, so we set this the quest status as finished, which is what we want, right? This I don't think is gonna it does display though, but it's not enough to change the quest status. So what we have to do is go back to the quest, so we'll run that. And I think I am gonna have to do something which, I mean, what I can do here, guys, is basically So he opt out, he does all that stuff, he sets the right. So I'm just gonna basically do a return of the new quest here. And it's gonna be the updated quest. Updated quest. What's happening is that it still has the reference to the old quest. That's why it's bugging out. And then I can just plug it here. And now that should be gone. So what's happening is that we had the quest, we're updating the quest, it's finished, but we're never returning that updated value to that function to handle. So what it was causing is that it has the wrong memory. So that's why we have to re-update the quest and send it back. It's one of the drawbacks of programming, I guess, is that we always have to make sure the memory is updated. Yeah, okay, so now if I press complete, still playing that thing. That's good. That's not good. But let me double check why. So just to make things simpler, I'm gonna disable those cinematic here because I don't really want them to play. I am just gonna make sure that we play here. All right. All right. Looking a little bit better. Perfect. Okay. Right. It's crazy not to create two games at the same time. So one of the things about AI that's quite nice is the ability for us to jump between projects. And you can just like give a right direction and then the AI kind of goes and does it for you. But I'll focus more on that game in a second. So now we have the lost heart, so we're gonna add this, removing the hat, so that trigger twice, which is fine. Now if I go back to the hello and press completed, it's still triggering the hello, which is not what I want. I don't want that to happen. Let me double check why this is happening. So he sent the quest here, and then he goes back to that. So he sends the quest manager. Local quest. I'm just gonna take this. Let's see. Come on, come on, come on. I'm gonna add it here. Start. So I'm gonna add the quest, the hat. So nothing gonna happen because it's not triggering that anymore. And then we're gonna complete. Yeah, okay. So it is everything passing on the same location. Quest manager. Right. Passes to the quest manager. Now I'm gonna just do a F5 from here. Let's see what happened. Started, perfect. Get the item, completed. Come on. Perfect. And I go back and you complete the quest. Right, so he's playing that. It's just that it's playing that twice. So where is that completed? It's coming from. Well, in that case, though, let me just double check where we are calling this by name. So we're calling here. We're calling that. I think that is the problem. Oh, I see. I see. Completed quests. Completed task equals to that. Where do we call this? Check completed quests. I'm just trying to think if this is going to be a problem or not. Well, I think we can add this to finished. Now I think we're gonna have to remove this. I'm just gonna actually add a comment for myself that this may be a bug. I'm not entirely sure what the hell is going on this, but I think it's a problem because when I did this check, it was to do automatically, but right now I'm not so sure if it's working properly. But anyway, now I have the quest, we got the butt, we got the hat, and we, why is it all? Ah, I see. Okay, that's what's happening. So that is completing the task. Completed. Trigger. Where do we call this? Check status. Check status. Find reference by name. Reload or update all the inventory widgets. Ah, I see. Because when we reload, we call that logic. It goes here. Well, what if I do finished? Let's see. Let's have a look. Oh, there's a question. How do I start learning game development? All right, man. I'm very glad you came to the right place. So, well, it's not very easy, must say, but I would recommend you starting creating from one of the templates of Unreal Engine and trying to understand how a trigger works. Like, for example, Unreal Engine here, Unreal Engine templates. Let me just show you what I mean. I'm just going to drag my other screen here. So basically, you can start with any engine you want. I just, I mainly work with Unreal Engine, but I recommend you downloading this and just have a play, get familiarized with all those templates, the first person, the puzzle, explore, just try to create projects, just play around with these projects here. Understand, like, for example, if you touch a cube, if you want to change the color of the cube, like simple actions like this. Once you get this enough understanding, then you can jump into like a more serious tutorial. I think that's a good way. That's how I start. It's like by picking up simple projects that comes with the engine, and then just starting to understand, like, for example, if I add health to my character, if I touch a cube, how does that work? So I think that's a good example. And here you have a lot of good stuff. Like, for example, you have the FPS one, which is really cool. You also have here the third person, which is also very useful to learn as well. You have examples like fight. There's this platform that, as you can see here, the character's touching, it gets in the pickups. You have a little bit of an enemy there. So this is quite cool. And then you have like a dash wall mechanics. So I think the best way for you to start is just get one of the templates that you kind of want to create, like a style of game you want to do. For my case is like third person. I really like third person. And then just try to understand how the blueprint works. But I definitely recommend just get the engine and download one of those templates. It helps a lot. Yeah. And also it depends what kind of engine you want to use. If you want to use, like, I don't know, Unity is a good for 2D. I really like. Godot is very good. But if you want to create like heavy 3D, I prefer like using Unreal. I think it's the best one. But anyway, so let's see now if this is gonna work. So we are gonna trigger this start right here. I do want to recreate a tutorial that I had a couple of time ago, which was like how to, like, from zero to hero. I am gonna probably work on that with a tutorial, just focus on people that just want to get into the engine and you want to learn, the basic things of it from scratch. All right, so we have the things playing, perfect. So we get a hat, play the animation. Come on, play the animation. All right, did not play the animation. Why? Ah, it's marking as finished. Oh no. It's marking as finished. Completed. Let me just double check the... You know what? I'm gonna do something which is basically... So the start of cinematic sequence handles the completed. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna create a variable inside this function or global called is completed, right? And oh no, but this is not gonna work. This is not gonna work. So we need to find why this is happening. So it is completing the quest. Ah, I think I know. So what we can actually do here is basically we're gonna create here break. If the status is different, not equal enum, which is called completed, or right finished, because if it's finished, there's no point. And then I'm just going to create a branch here. I'm going to create a branch here. I'll just add this branch there. Edit, go back, and plug in play right here. All right. So if it's different from that, then we set to complete. Otherwise, we are going to go back and set to false. Perfect. Nice. All right, so now let's just have a look. So we're gonna start the hot situation. Let's see. I have a good feeling this is gonna work now. We spent too much time on this cinematic, but it's one of the things as well that once you figure out one, then you can replicate it like in a scale for the rest of the game. So I was gonna play the cinematic. Yes, playing the cinematic. It's pretty cool. Let's see what's gonna happen. Yes, 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 yes. Perfect. Now we are gonna complete. And no, let's play the cinematic again. I did not want to do that. Why is it doing this? I'm gonna try to figure out why is that happening. Ah, yes, because he's replaying the... Oh my god. Come on, Mario. Come on. Because he's replaying the animation twice, right? Okay, I know what to do then. Is that... Oh my gosh. We wanna... do that here, something like this. Okay, so I think that's gonna work. Just think about it. So we can even post the cinematic there, so it's being updated. So let me just think about it. So if it's not completed or not finished, then we can complete, and then we do play the quest. Perfect, nice. Now let's see, I think this is gonna work now. That's the problem, because we're re-triggering every time for whatever the status is. Because even when we update the quest, we don't necessarily want to play the animation. All right. Let's go back. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. By the way, guys, if you wanna learn this quest tutorial, I literally have the same system that I'm using on the devrealm.com. I know I don't like to do too much advertising, but I recommend you checking is this quest. This system that I'm using right here is exactly this one on the tutorial, and you can even download all this project for free. Of course, I done it a lot more here, but you're gonna learn how to do this system right there. So yeah, feel free to start if you want. Now going back to my game here, so we are gonna track, get a hat, Come on, come on, come on, come on. Play the animation. Now I just need to wait for this to happen, which takes a while. I could have actually added like a simple thing, but anyway. Completed. No! Still playing this fucking thing. Damn it. Where is it? So it completes the quest. It does play this. Alright, let's do some more serious debugging. Right, let's do this. So we're not gonna play this animation, and we are gonna do like completed. These things start to be very annoying. I hate this. Right, so I'm gonna add a F9 here. Let's just try to figure out where is the bug coming from. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Add, start, get a hat, completed. Yes, so expect it to update, perfect. Complete. Why? Because what is the current quest status that we have? Just double check. Because this is the problem. It's playing the compile and save. Let's double check our game. So the CPU simulation, bound smoke, volumetric. Yeah, okay. Sky ambient. Okay. Perfect. Is possible to exclude the blocks. Catch fire. Let's just double check that. Alright, so we are gonna start here. So start it. Removing the hat, perfect. We add it. Start it. Fine. Now if I go back and I complete it, right? So it's completed. So it's completed. So if it's not completed, you know what? I am just gonna actually do like a sequence, a switch, right? I mean, this can't be wrong, like honestly. So if it's available, if it's started, or if it's cancelled, or if it's failed, then yes. Otherwise, we don't do that stuff. So the problem is that this is kind of doing automatically and it's completing the task for us. Maybe because it's setting to completed. So it does that. So check quest track because it's already completing the game. So let me double check. Why is it doing that? So you loop all the quests. It finds the one and then it completes the quest. So it checks if everything is completed. It's like a lot of heavy things. And then it does the loop here and it goes back. And yeah. Oh, there's a question. Are you using full blueprint? Yeah, so yeah, I'm using full blueprint to this. So all this stuff that you can see here is all blueprint. I think I kind of like C++, but I really don't like the syntax of C++. But you're talking about the game, right? Yeah, talking about the main game. Yeah, because I'm working on this project here, and this is like full C++. This stuff. But yeah, which actually done it. So let me just double check what happened here. Because I'm trying. I had this idea of creating a game which is, as I was saying before, like the space exploration thing, but you can kind of destroy the planet. I tried to do it on Unreal, but if it completely blew up my engine, my game. So, that's cool. Okay, so it's not burning the rock. That's actually cool. It's nice. I like this one because this is fucking cool actually. Look at that. That's quite cool actually. How he's burning everything. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. But let me double check here. How's it working? I think one of the crazy ideas I have for this game as well is that this planet's like a sphere, so you can walk all over it. You're gonna be able to like to build your ship and then you explore other planets. Oh, my CPU is like melting now. This is not good. It's not working. The gravity is not following up the player. I mean, actually it is. It is actually. Oh wow, this is very slow. Why is it taking? Come on, come on. One of the things I have to do here, we also add explosions and lightning, something like that. Let's go back to my game here, the main one. I always get distracted. I keep building new games and stuff, and it's a problem. This is a problem because this is the issue. It's retriggering the same montage all the time. So completed. Yeah. So if it's coming from available started or that, it's set. Otherwise, doesn't do anything. I think this is gonna work. Let's see. Let's see what's gonna do here. So let's add this here. I'm gonna start the game. Perfect. Now I get the item. Now I go back and I complete. Right? So now I got the task, got the money. Perfect. Now let's just try to add the debug here. So completed. I'm gonna add like red color or something. Did not see this happening though. Let's see. Start track. Oh, that's why is it completed? No, this is wrong. This is when we start. Yeah, it has to be here actually. Done. Compile and save. Let's double check the next one. Right. What do you guys prefer? Do you guys prefer to use C++ or Blueprint? Alright, so completed. Done. Perfect. Please. That worked. Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay. Alright, let's do it. Let's go. One thing though I really don't like about Blueprints, I must say, is that it's very slow to develop. You spend hours. It's not as fast as typing on the keyboard. But what I like it about is that you just look at the flow and it's much more cleaner. On code you have classes and things everywhere. And when I'm doing my programming, yeah, also a game programming Blueprint for now, yeah. But it's nice to know both, you know. I think sometimes it's useful to do some things in C++. Especially now that you can actually connect AIs into Unreal Engine. That's quite useful. It's quite useful. But I still think the Unreal Engine is very hard to implement AI properly. I tried to do like MCP tools and they're very tricky to work properly. It's very buggy at the moment. It doesn't control the blueprints very well for some reason. Complete. Yes. All right. That's working. Perfect. What is it? Yeah. Yeah, C++ is... Yeah, like look at this, right? If you look at this class, I mean, it's fine, but then the problem with C++ is you have to understand What is it? There's like this C++. So you have the object, and then you have the header, and it's just like a mess. I wish I could do this in JavaScript. I think it would be better. But anyway. Right, so now we have this done. I'm happy with this finished stuff. Now, just for testing, let's just try to add a new cinematic here and call it a day. Right. So we have completed, or yeah, so we have an intro, blah, 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 blah. Let's just create another level sequence called LQ and finished. Right. Perfect. Yeah. Exactly, right? To be honest with you, I was building this stuff with AI, and I'm trying to get my head around what the fuck is he doing here. And it's, I mean, it works. It's just not very clear. Oh, he created executable. Oh, that's cute. Oh, that's cool. So I can actually play the game. Nice. God knows how he done that. But yeah. It's pretty cool. I like the shaders though. The horizon is quite cool. I got myself based. There's like a bunch of cool, which is a cool GitHub, C++, voxel game engines. I started this project. I'm actually looking here. Where was it? No, this is like a Minecraft clone. I'm not. This one. So there's this guy that created this engine, which, I mean, it looks incredible, to be honest. It looks really cool. It has a nice style. But when you go to this guy GitHub, I think he pulled the project down. I'm not sure what happened. So you can go here to his branch, and they have like a legacy desktop. So it's supposed to be like a open source engine. But I don't know what happened to this project. I tried to run locally, it doesn't work. And I was like, you know what? Let's just try to have it a go. So I kind of use the same references that I was using here to develop his game. Oh, there's a quest. I'm studying your MMO, got big plans about it. Yeah. Yeah, so, okay, yeah, sure. What kind of tips you looking for? Let me just read the message properly here. Yeah. Yeah, so what's your big plan about MMO, like PvP, PvE? MMO class is not enough to create my plan. Yeah, sure, man. So do you want to refine more your idea? Like, for example, the tricky thing about MMO is that you have to understand that your game is not just this, right? This is just what we call the client. And that took me a while to understand, because when I was started as a game developer, I thought that creating MMO was just creating the game in the engine. But there's much more you have to do on it. You have to create the online services, the queue jobs, and all that stuff. So you have to define what kind of MMO you would like to do. So, for example, if you want to create something like World of Warcraft, which is very hard to do, but basically World of Warcraft is just like a bunch of like quests that you track, right? So you can do actually, you have to think about your server, how you're going to store all that data, and how you're going to send all that information back from your game to a server and then it back, right? That's why I did... yeah, that's true. Vox is very heavy, by the way. Yeah, very heavy. Anyway, so basically, on going back to the MMO topic, I created this thing here. You guys probably saw already. The Dev Titan, which is a bunch of ready-to-use services for the MMO. So it has authentication, the leaderboards, the cloud saves, the inventory, the quests, and all the A/B testing, all that stuff. So to make your game scalable, I am planning actually to do a big update in the future to, I think, even make this open source. So anyone can kind of host this, or you can host it with us, whatever you're up to. But you have to think about what kind of game do you want to be, what kind of features do you want to have, and then how game's gonna be like. Is it gonna be just like a bunch of quests and that the player goes from point A to point B, or you're gonna have like a fight, right? Is it gonna be a first person, third person? So you have to define all those things, because you have to learn about infrastructure, right? Because when you get, let's say, an item here on the world, as you guys probably could see on the tutorials that I have about the MMO, when you collect an item, it sends to the server and then it stores on that, and then when you press play again, it downloads the data and then you can play, right? But I definitely recommend you, if you want to learn about it, like create first very basic quest system, create your systems first, like health quests, like how to interactions, opening the doors. For example, on this game, if I wanted to make this one into like a MMO, for example, all I have to focus now is more or less on the inventory and the quest management, because all the logic, like for example, opening the doors, attack system, like this stuff is done. You just have to learn how to do those systems first, right? And one thing I don't recommend doing is, like, for example, handling damage on the server. I recommend handling those things on the client and just log more or less item currencies and all that boring stuff on the server, to be honest. But yeah, how can let the player choose the area he wants to build such a model already created? How I can let the player choose the areas what he wants to build, such as, okay, all right, so we can actually explain how to do this in Unreal even. Let me just create a new world here. So for example, you want to let the player choose the areas that he wants to build, right? So what you can do here, so we have this, let me just double check. Do we have like a default, like a third person? The other one? Nope, that's broken. Third person game mode. I'm gonna use my RPG. No, this is the wrong one. Damn it. Which one is that? I have so many third person games, guys. Alright, perfect. Alright, this is bad. Alright, okay, fine. So for example, right, if you want to make an area that your player can build, right? Yeah, I think my game and new type, so I'm thinking how to change the shop. Yeah, let's just focus on that first thing, that you want to choose the areas that the player want to build something, right? So there's two parts of that. You have to do that on the client, and you have to do that on the server. So the server will handle whatever the parts or everything that he's building. So every time he saves that place, it will be sent to the server. But that's the last thing you do. So the first thing you can actually do here is they're going to create, like, let's say a BP spawn play, a build place or build area, whatever, right? And on this build area here, what you're gonna do is that you're probably gonna add like some kind of a sphere, which is gonna be the trigger or the areas that you can actually purchase your logic, right? And by the way, let me know if you already know this stuff. It's just it's very hard for me to know exactly what kind of game you're trying to build, but anyway. So for example, you have your trigger. When you add this to the world, right, you are gonna basically do, let me just add here, perfect. Let me just hidden in game. Let's just remove this stuff so we can see the area, right? And you press play. Can I see it? Yeah, nice. So when you're actually inside this stuff, when you're inside this area, you're probably gonna have like one menu that you want to claim, right? So what we're gonna do here, something very simple. Like you can just go back here to my WP claim. I don't know, I'm just gonna call this claim. I'm just gonna do very basic button here. Let's just add like a widget canvas, and let's just add a button, and let's just add a text, right? I'd rather do these things explaining with real graphics, because I don't like to work just on theory. It's hard to explain properly. Right, so what you're gonna do here is something like when the user clicks, right, something gonna happen. So you're gonna have like a logic that claims. So right now I'm just gonna do a print, right, and that's gonna basically be, let's say, claim, right? Perfect. So this widget needs to have the user reference, so that's fine. So what we're gonna do is that on this volumetric thing that you're trying to build, this build place on our trigger, I'm gonna try to simulate like an online transaction. Let's see if how far I can go with this. So we're gonna get the actor. I'm just gonna do a print, and let's just press play and see what happened. So now, you see, BP person character, perfect. So what we're gonna do here is that you need to now get, let's say, your character ID. So for example, on the title, or if you're using Steam, for example, Steam has a user ID, right? But we don't have the example right now, so I'm just gonna simulate one. So go back to your player, where is this? Player class, player controller, here, right? The pawn, perfect. So what I would do is here, I would have, let's say, the Steam ID, right? And then you're gonna add, let's say, the name. Guys, I think Steam only works with IDs, and you're gonna do ID 1, 2, 3, right? Perfect. Nice. Now we're gonna go back to this, the claim logic, the build place. From there, I'm just gonna cast this character, and I'm gonna get the ID, or get Steam ID, and then I'm gonna do like a print or something, right? Compile and save the stuff. Let's see that work. Right. So we have, like, you see the ID there? So that's the ID that comes from the player, right? So that ID, it can be used now to identify that part to the player. So then there's another thing you have to do as well when you're building those places, is that each part, let's say this is the building area of your game, make sure that you also assign an ID to that place, right? So you're gonna add here the building ID, and we're gonna make sure this is a string, right, or whatever you want. The ID will be assigned by you, so it can be like building 01, right? Right, so now that you have, let's say this is gonna be your 3D assets, or the area, or let's say it's a building pre-built for the player, so he can buy a house, whatever. This is how I would do it, this, for example, right? All you have to do now is that we get a player, and we're gonna create like create a widget, for example, and then we can call that widget called claim if he's not claimed yet, and we can say is claimed, and then we can actually create as a boolean value, right? Right. All this stuff is still client side. You still have to save this on the server, but this is gonna be example, right? Add to viewport, perfect. And I'm just gonna create this widget as a variable, so after on we can delete the widget, right? So I'm just gonna do that stuff, widget, perfect. And now let's see what happened. I don't think I have a logic done for it. So you go here, and you see, shows up the button, so the player can do whatever he wants. Now I'm just gonna do the logic from when the player leaves the area, so it disappears just quickly, so we can just get the widgets and remove from parts. Right. This is very simple but minimalist example. Right, now that we have this stuff, the logic to buy the place, you have to choose where you want to add this. Usually the best place is the player controller, or the game instance to do this kind of a big purchase. You can actually add this anywhere as long as you confirm on the server, to be honest. But I recommend adding on the player controller. I'm gonna add here just so you can see more or less what we're gonna do. So what we're gonna do here is just create a custom event called API claim place, right? So you're gonna add here the claim location or claim place. Right, so then now let me just double check one thing. The widget, I'm kind of getting a little bit confused on this one. I'm just gonna close that here. Let's just have what we're working on, right? So the claim here, the widget that you're trying to claim something, ideally we'll have the player controller reference. In this case, I don't have a player controller, but I'm just gonna pretend that our building place is the player controller. But if you want to actually use the player controller, all you have to do is just get controller, and then you cast it to your controller, and then that's it. You already have everything you need. But on the claim here, I'm just gonna put a reference of the building, right? So I'm just gonna edit something this is very simple stuff, very minimalist version of it. Make sure that you expose this on spawn so you can actually see this on here. So if I just refresh this and then I pass self, it's the reference of self, compile and save, nice. So we got a claim page, everything's working, and now I'm just gonna do a print here so we can see that this is working. Now on the claim button, all you have to do is just call that API claim place, right? Perfect. Now this is a very simple thing, but should kind of work. So if I go back, you see, hello, 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 perfect, nice. Now the claim logic should be something like that. So we have the building ID, and we have the player ID, which is assigned to the player. Is claimed is just a flag. We can even do something even better. Instead of using a flag, we can just change this to a string, sorry. Claimed user ID, right? Why? Because right now, if this is empty, it means that it can be claimed. If it's not, then the user can, you know, we already know. So all you can do here is something like this. You get this data is empty, right? Is this thing empty? Let's just create a branch. If it's true, then you're gonna claim. Otherwise, you're just gonna send a message saying error or whatever you want, realistically, right? And now, what the logic to claim? This is gonna be something that you have to perform. I'm not sure if this is gonna cost money or not. We probably will cost, like if you're trying to make like as Minecraft or something, like in the servers, you can actually do something like price, and then you add here the price integer and compile and save, and this is going to be, let's say, 100, right? Now if you add a price, then on your character you also need to add how much money he has. So money, right? Money, in this case it will have, like, let's say 100 as well, right? And then it's just a case of doing simple math, like you just get the price, the player. I recommend creating the as a interaction ref, right? So it's a very simple thing, and you can then get the interaction reference, or I'm just gonna call player to make it simple for us. Get the money. Is it money? That's how we call, yeah, get money. Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah. Maybe rent sys used by phone. Okay. So you're gonna do like a rent sys by GTA. Yeah, if you want to do like a system like that, then probably you want to do everything through UI. But it's not that different from what we're building here, to be honest. The thing is that is always the logic is always the same. It's just a business logic. It's just like do you have the money to buy? Yes or no? And then if yes, you claim the place. That's all you're doing. But if, for example, if you were to do this like on the GTA UI where you can actually buy the property, what would you do is this: you display this list here. It's gonna be the same thing as we're doing here. To be honest, it's not that different. It's just imagine that this is a list, but you are actually entering the place, right? And the moment the player choose this, you're just gonna make is that greater or equal than whatever the money. You just do a branch, right? And if that's true, if it's false, then no money. And if it's true, then the logic to claim, very simple. Get this, and you're just gonna set that to the player ID, right? So you're gonna get the player ID. Get player, get Steam ID. You assign it that, and then the last thing you want to do is that get the money or money, and you're gonna do this minus, let's say, whatever is the price of this, and then you're gonna like set the money to be whatever is the outcome of that. And now, in theory, we should see error when we click twice. This is very simple, right? Just gonna go back. Error. Oh yeah, that's wrong. So let's just double check why is it wrong. So is, oh yeah, because it's set to false. Make sure. Let's just double check again. All right, so now if I press, so it purchased, fine. And now you see error, right? And what happened is that now you got yourself the property here. So what we can actually do is how can we make this like just double check if I can change the color of this color, shape color, set shape color. Yeah, so what we can do here is just we're gonna make, oh, this is I don't like this color. Well, what is it? So I'm just gonna put like red. So 127, 255, 100, 255. Perfect. It's gonna leave in red again. All right. Save, compile and save. Let's see what happened. And that's it. So you go here, you purchase the place. Not sure why though it's not coming up with a color, but you can see here that it's working. It's just being funny, the game. But now the tricky thing is that, okay, this only happened on the client. This is not on the server yet. So you're gonna have to use some kind of let's say, you know, like a Laravel, like something like this, a framework that stores the information on a database for your game. There's also one called, I think it's called PlayFab as well, that it's a service for games, right? It's a very complicated, but it has all the things you want. It has multi-sync. It will sync the players for you. It will save this kind of information. It's just the case that you have to kind of use a little bit of C++ on this. Or you can use the Dev Titan, the one I created. It's up to you. But if you want to do something custom, then you're going to have to do, I think it's Unreal Engine HTTP request or something like that. I think it's like plugin. Do we have anything like this? No. What is it? Fab, fetch. This one, yeah. Yeah. So this is a free plugin that allows you to send, as you can see here, requests. So then from here, once the player purchases something, right? Usually this logic will be on the server side, by the way. It won't be here. But you just send that data, this claimed URL ID, to something like that. You handle the logic here, as you can see. You save on your database. and then you do your own logic from here. Yeah. Oh, hello. Welcome to the stream. All right, let me go back to my the game that I was working on. So I'm just gonna delete this. Let's just go back here to my LV main world. Now, what was the? Oh yeah, I was finishing off the task for the player, so to show off the finished quest. Nice. So let me just go back here to the quest manager. As I was saying before, guys, if you want to learn this quest stuff that I'm working on here as well, I have this, I think, for free on the channel. I think you can watch this whole thing. If you go to playlists, I have a whole tutorial about, what is it? Is the quest? This one. There's only 5 videos here, but I'm going to put a little bit more. But you can start it from here. Yeah. Using 5.4 and the plugin is 5.2. Oh, I see. I think there is a version of a Unreal Engine that has those requests. Unreal Engine HTTP request plugin something. I'm pretty sure there's someone that did a project. Master request. I mean, there's the one I created, which is called Master Request. I don't remember what version engine is using right now. Yeah, it's 5.4 and 5.6. So this one is the one I did. It works exactly the same way. As you can see here, the way it works is just that by doing make a request and then you send all the data as normal. I'm not focusing on support this anymore because I saw the Unreal Engine kind of created their own native version. But this can work for now as well. But there's like hundreds of those on the store. So you're just gonna have to learn how to create the requests. You can also use, man, if you want, Superbase, by the way. Superbase, this is free. Like you can send all this, you can start with Superbase. And you can kind of hook up, if you have access to some kind of LLM AI to it, the AI will create for you the assets, and then it does. Oh, actually, my AI finished building what I was looking for. Okay, let's see what happened here. So if I press G, Jesus, that's cool, I think. But it started a fucking fire. That's not what I wanted. Let me just go back here. This is. Come on. Can I want to create like a fireball or something. Let's see. Okay. I like that the fire is consuming everything. It's pretty cool. Alright. Anyway. Looking good. Let me just minimize this. All right, let me do my final thing here. Oh, you're welcome, man. Anytime. I do pretend to bring more tutorials related to online services. I know this is very hard. It's not an easy thing. Like create a single player game is hard on its own, but creating a multiplayer is even harder. Is rough. And I have like I created, for example, right, on Steam. I have actually created a game on Steam. Just trying to find here, called RPG Rush. It didn't do very well, to be honest. I had a little bit of a bad reviews, but this was a game created. It needs some polishing, right? As you can see here, there's a guy that really hated my game, and there's a guy that really loved my game. Because this is a little bit like it's a free game that I created all using AI, and it did go well, but it didn't go very well. So, but this is an online game, it's an example of online game that that I created here. But anyway, and I know it's very hard to create an online multiplayer game. So annoying sometimes. But anyway, let's finish this thing. I kind of completely got lost here. So quest system, right? Quest manager, PP quest manager. The way I created the quests, I'm really happy how I done this. And just to show you guys how easy it is to create quests with this system. And this is not like a marketing or anything. It's just generally I really like how I did this, which is so. Unreal Engine to create quests on this zone is very complicated, but once you make everything work together, it makes it easy. For example, here I have available quests, and I created this one called Find a Hat, right? Which is just like a bunch of a DT quests right there. And basically you add the ID, the name, the icon, the ability, and then you have the task sections. So the task sections is related to another data table. The reason why I created a data table is because I can reuse this. And here I have, for example, item, trigger, or money. Like, for example, if it's an item, you have to collect item. If it's a trigger, you have to get to a certain trigger and then it will work. And then money, you know, you need to have a certain amount of money to do the game. And that, basically, I need the hat. So when you press play and you collect the quest, it just spawned this this manager here, right? It just gets spawned on the world, and that thing has all the logic I need to implement the quests, and that's why you'll be able to see starting the cinematic and all that stuff. Now I think I was doing the cinematic for the finished, and I think what I'm gonna do here, just to make like a cool cinematic, I'm gonna add a camera. I don't even remember, is my video working properly? Because I have my phone is sometimes overheating, I don't know. Right, so I have this cine, I think a camera actor, that's the one I want, perfect. I'm gonna drag and drop to my timeline, perfect. Now on the camera, Control Shift P, so I can control the camera. Why is it not working? Control. All right, I'm already controlling the camera, I think. Yeah, stop piloting, perfect. So what I want to do is that when the player collects the item, I want to do this effect, and then it fades to the player. I don't know actually how. Do we have any other nice cinematic? Oh, yeah, it can actually come from here. Does it work properly? Anyway, let's just make it simple so it goes up and then it disappears. Like Zelda used that technique a lot. Right, so I am gonna basically select here, converts to spawnable actor, perfect. It's gonna be 5 seconds, so I don't want to do much. And then I'm gonna call it the thing. Right, so I am gonna. So I have the camera selected, so I'm just gonna pilot the camera, so Control Shift P, perfect. Use the spawn transform, and from that we're gonna go up, do this, so it does this nice effect, perfect. And then we're just gonna add a simple fade track, and again, fade from 0 to 1. Perfect. And let's see if it's janky or not. It should be fine. Yeah, okay. Perfect. Yeah, it looks okay. Doesn't look too bad. It goes to completely black. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any audio to play here. I need to use like some kind of a decent audio library, but anyway. Now, to play this, super simple. We're gonna go back to our quest system. Where's the quest system? Right here. And when I finish, so I need to override the method. So finished, handle the finished. Then I just need to copy this, paste this one. Come on, here. Yeah. Now I just need the name of the finished. add it right here. Compile and save. Now I'm just gonna add the hat here because I really don't want to go there and fetch the hat. Hat, perfect. I know this is a very boring quest, but with time we'll improve that. Right. So now, get the item, start. All right, that looks cool. Perfect. I like it. Like it. Right, very obvious where you have to go. Even too much. Now you get the hat, which is in there, but don't worry about it. Let's pretend we are in there. So it has this nice cinematic feeling. This is pretty cool. Now, let's go back and complete the quest. Yes, it's working. There you go. We done it, our quest. That's pretty cool, guys. I think this is one of the coolest thing we done it here because this is like a test quest. So what that means is that it's gonna be a quest that is for me to figure out how I'm gonna implement the game, the system, and playing around. I'm gonna polish a little bit, but we can actually do a lot of cool stuff here as well. So even nicer, we can even do stupid quests like, for example, I think I have something like open the gate. Let me just have a look here. Yeah, so for example, here I have the gate, so I can kind of open up the gate here for us. On this case, it's gonna close the gate, as you can see. So we can actually do some kind of a simple quest like that. Is this working already? Oh no, this is one of the trees that doesn't drop. Yeah, this one does. I can even do quests like bring me wood or something. So that will be even nicer for us. I think I am done for today. Well, thank you very much, guys, for watching. One thing, I do pretend to do more lives. I don't do this very often. I also want to do something where if you want to hire myself or if you want to have some kind of a consultation on your project, I'm going to add this option on the dev realm as well. So if you have the subscription with us, it's going to be discounted. If you're not, it's not going to be too expensive, but we're going to have like a way for you to have some of my time. If you have a question about project, if you're learning about a simple feature and you want to do a one-on-one, I'm going to be able to do that as well. I'm just planning how I'm going to do the website because it's a little bit tricky to add on the site. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. And if you want to learn about some kind of a tutorial or something that it will make your life easier, just send me a DM or just comment on my videos how or what you would like to learn. And I'm happy to make tutorials for you as well. We are also planning to release like this student access on the dev realm, so you can have access to all the content for free. But it's something I'm planning around it, how I'm gonna make it, because unfortunately the rise of AI tutorials are not very interesting for people anymore. So we kind of have to find a better way of handling that for us. It's being a little bit tricky. We know having a lot of views, so we have to find a better way. And if you like any of my tools, I have a lot of tools on the website, and please buy our t-shirts so you help our channel grow. I hope you guys enjoy it, and thank you very much for everything. See you guys in the